right. Since we don't have a third talking head to elongate the time like we normally do, EA permabans your Apex account for just saying "don't be gay," and I think this is utterly gay. Anyway,
Okay, well, fine. Then
banned
we'll
on
just.
YouTube.
Okay, well, look, you know what? I will not say don't be gay. I'll just say stop being a fag.
Well, that's even worse. they canned that term a long time ago.
Well, look, I tried.
But yeah, you can no longer play EA games in this account. We have removed your payment details from our system, so you won't get any more charges from us.
Oh no, I'm banned from EA.
So be careful where you purchase your digital games. And this is my advice: stop using in-game comms.
Yeah.
Point blank. I don't care how you have to deal with it. Just don't use in-game comms. We haven't done it in probably a decade at this point, for the most part.
I've not done it since about high school.
I mean, the last time I've used in-game comms is probably the old Halo days.
Yep, that same.
Yeah, back on like the 360 or something.
Yep.
Since then, use Discord or some other form of doing it. Hell, if you've got to, Skype it. Gosh, just don't use in-game comms, because it doesn't matter what you say. If somebody finds it offensive for whatever reason, even if it is something as benign as "don't be gay,"
Yep.
you could find yourself completely banned and lose access to everything on your list.
Yeah, and here's the thing that pisses me off. I can understand getting banned from Apex. That's fine, whatever. But see, this didn't ban you from Apex. It banned you from EA, which I think is complete BS.
Yes, and that's the other ludicrous thing, is the way the EULAs have been written, because a lot of these things are platforms like, in order for you to play EA games, you generally would have to go through EA's Origin launcher or whatnot, which means you're probably buying games through there and other stuff. If you're a big EA fan or an Apex fan, now you can play Apex Legend on a variety of things, right? You can play it on, Epic. You can get it, I think, on Steam as well. The PlayStation Store.
But it all connects to.
But it all sort of starts connecting to other things. So if EA comes through and they ban you from their entire thing, so anything you have bought through Origin is now lost to you forever.
And keep in mind,
unless you sue them over it, because quite frankly, I think if somebody actually had the money to take them to tasks over this kind of stuff, the EULAs would suddenly start changing.
Yeah.
The problem is nobody has the money to do that.
Yeah, because we're
gamers. That, which means they can just, plow over us like it's no tomorrow.
And this is where I hate saying this. And I know it can't happen. It can't happen because our government is full. The U.S. government, rather, is full of old decrepit mummies that should have been retired years ago, and they don't know. They think a TI-83 is the highest tech in the world. So, the whole thing is government intervention would be actually merited here, because now this is my perspective. If I buy a product, digital or otherwise, I am the owner of that product. That doesn't mean I can do whatever I want with it, but it does mean I own a copy of that product. So when the developer cuts off my access to set product, and I don't mean like Apex. Apex is the cause, but then I would lose access to like The Sims. At that point, it is not a ban from a game. It's a ban from all my games in that area, which is theft, because I own those games.
Well, that's the thing you don't. But I mean, you're on the right track, because
what I'm saying is that needs to happen. Like, they're not going to do it. Like, the companies aren't, and they're not going to learn unless people stop buying them, which they're not going to do, because honestly, I'm going to come out and be very rude here. A lot of gamers are dumb as dirt.
Well, see, that's the thing. With a lot of these digital storefronts, we get the license to use the game. They can revoke the license at any time. It's in the EULA. That's how it's written. We don't actually buy the game anymore.
Yeah, see, and that's where
like we used to do.
That's where my hang up is, because if it's a single player game, you should own the rights to one copy, regardless of how you bought it. Now, if it's a game like Apex where you have to connect to play it, that is when I would say, yeah, you can revoke the rights, because if you break the EU user agreement or whatever, revoke the rights to that, but revoke the rights to online play. If there's a single player aspect, they should still have access to that. That is why I think EA is on par with the IRS for theft.
Anyway, so this is part and parcel with the Crew lawsuit thing that's going on, by the way.
Did I buy you time?
Yeah, you remember the Crew debacle thing that's going on right now. I don't know where it is or how it's going, but that's the thing. It's like I don't want my government to have to do a thing, but at the same time, I feel like there needs to be some kind of laws or something in place to kind of prevent certain things from happening like this too. Like, it's one thing to get banned from Apex.
Well,
another thing to get banned from your entire portfolio of games that you have on an account.
There are laws around this. There are
none.
No, there is. But here's
there isn't.
Okay, boomer, let me finish.
Okay.
There are laws around this, except companies like EA and others, they take advantage of a loophole that expressly says that this is for products. But see, they're not selling you products, they're selling you digital products, which is how they get around the fact that it's not a physical product, so that they don't have to abide by those laws.
Or they just sell you the license.
Again, digital product.
Which, again, isn't a product. But that's where things need to come in. It's like,
here's the
EA
thing.
should be able to ban you from using their online service. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. They shouldn't ban you from being able to access your things that you've already purchased on there, of course. But if, say you've done something naughty in Apex, naturally you can't play Apex anymore.
Dude, I don't even think Steam does that.
No.
If you get banned, you can still play your games.
But this is why GOG has started on that whole preservation kick, too. It's because of things like this, mainly from things, especially from Blizzard, where they stealth dropped those HD remakes of Warcraft 1 and 2 that I found by pure accident. It was like, dude, look at this. This would be kind of fun to do, because then we can actually connect without having to finagle 15 different things to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, when Blizzard does that shit, they wipe out the original. Like, behind me over here is Warcraft 1 and 2, and the expansion Tides of Darkness, and Warcraft 3. All those are physical discs behind me on that thing over there.
You got the battle chest, didn't you?
No, these were back in the days.
Yeah, no, they had a physical battle chest that you could buy. It had 1, 2, and 2.
Well, I might have. I think I bought a few of those too at some point, but I have access to the physical discs, keys, all that good jazz.
That was when that stuff was so good.
If you install Warcraft 3, if I was to buy a disk drive for this PC, plug it in, install Warcraft 3, the second it tries to connect, and it will try to connect, it will automatically install the new version of Warcraft 3 and wipe it completely out. So you have to play their new updated version full of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And that's your only recourse. You can't play that without you got to put it on something. You can't touch the internet with it, so it doesn't connect and try to install. An update to the HD version.
I'll say this:
they've done the same thing with Warcraft 1 and 2. this month. They were wiping the originals off their storefront. GOG was like, yeah, they're doing this, so we're going to preserve it here if you want the original as intended without the bullshit that Blizzard sticks into the new versions.
Yeah, GOG is going to make bank because they're taking that is a power vacuum right there that a lot of gamers are going to look at. And, like if they push it enough, a lot of gamers are going to look at that and just start flooding to GOG.
But yeah, like something does need to be done about this particular problem right here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's going to require government oversight, unfortunately, because when there is no other recourse but your government to get it done at that point, unfortunately, it's one of those you're going to have to bite a bullet somewhere.
The problem is the government's not going to get it done because, like I was saying while you were gone, the highest tech they're aware of is a TI-83.
Well, yeah, we got to get younger people in the government and who aren't complete bleeding heart liberal retards.
Yeah.
Who can't see beyond their nose. But, there needs to be some changes in some of these laws. The real change into it because, you can't come out and just say they have to keep it online, right? Because that's the other issue with that. When it comes to the crew is a multiplayer game. And it's just a multiplayer game. However, and that's how it functions, right? That's how it works. However, it does have a single player component to it. It was accidentally put in by accident during a patch at one point in time, which is why people know it exists. And then they quickly removed it, right? And the point is, it's one thing to say that they've got to essentially make it playable single player, and with something with the crew that already has the ability for bot races and stuff like that, it's easy for them to just flip a switch, keep, the last update removes the multiplayer, and then it puts that on, and then you can play the crew from now until infinity. But then again, you can't sit there and say, Blizzard, you have to keep World of Warcraft alive for now until infinity, because it's a multiplayer, like it's a massive multiplayer online game. It does not have a single player component. It can't function as a single player game or anything like that. So there's got to be some wording in there and stuff to prevent that sort of thing, because people will then be like, oh, well, you've got to keep this online. When you don't need to keep something like a massive multiplayer online. Like when League of Legends, if for whatever reason it dies, there is no real single player component to that. It's just dead at that point. And having a law that would say that Riot has to keep it online for the two people still playing it is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's untenable.
But if it's a game that can be played single player, there should be no reason for it to, not be.
That's what I'm saying. You should still have access to your games, just not the online component.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is they don't want you to do that, because what it is it's comparable to planned obsolescence. They want their old games to die so that you buy the new shiny one.
Yeah. Which is usually what happens when you do make a second version of it.
Yep.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't. But anyway. So yeah, EA apparently will just perma-ban you for benign things. So don't use comms in games, damn it. That's the moral of the story.